Tate McRae. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. By the way, where are you? This is your house, or where like LA? Where you at?
I'm in Calgary, Canada. This is my little recording room.
Oh man, so you have your own studio up there. This is where the magic happens, I guess, right?
Kind of. I mean, this is where I've been stuck the past 6 months. So
God, so you haven't been in LA this entire time.
no, like I literally haven't left Canada. I've gone to Toronto a couple times, but no, I haven't been to LA, and it feels very weird.
Let me just go ahead and ask you, how has, quarantine life, how has 2020 treated you? Yeah, like you said, you've been stuck in Canada. Although that's a pretty awesome place to be stuck. I've never been to Canada and I want to go. It seems like an amazing place. Maybe being stuck there 6 months is a bit much, stuck anywhere 6 months, but how has this time been?
Um, Honestly, it's been a lot of things. Like I feel like it's been just like a roller coaster of emotions since March. Like honestly, now it's starting to get cold again, so Canada's starting to get a little gross. But for a while there, it was actually decent. But it's been crazy because like I've been working from home in my bedroom and like things are happening, but just nothing feels like it is because I'm just not leaving my house.
And when you say gross, like you don't want it to be cold. Like if you're from Canada, cold is bad. Is that what I'm kind of reading here?
Like December, I'm totally chill with snow. Like Christmas, I'm all for it. When snow comes in September, it is a problem and then lingers on till June. I'm not for it.
And well, as you know, we got plenty of heat in LA. I'll take the snow, bring it on in March. Jesus. All right. Tate McRae is hanging out, you guys. Of course, going to play her track, You Broke Me First, in a couple minutes. Get ready. But people are going to ask, what else are you working on? EP, album? Give me a little update on what you got going on.
I'm working on an EP. I have a single coming out super soon, which I'm really stoked for. But yeah, I've been just trying to consistently release songs like every month. I'm trying to just put out as much as possible. I've been writing a lot in quarantine, so just get those songs out to the world finally.
Does it feel like you're like I'm staring at her on Zoom and I see it's a white brick wall behind her. There's probably a microphone in a booth sort of somewhere around there. Do you feel like you're locked in this little studio? Not like studio jail, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like weird because I have this one producer that signs into my laptop and like controls everything. So he's been like tracking all my vocals for the past 6 months. So I literally can do everything in here, and I've been filming videos and everything inside my house. It's very weird.
You never have to leave, which, hey, great. Why not? All right. Tate, I know you got a crazy fan base. What is the weirdest place a fan has asked for a selfie? And maybe it didn't happen during quarantine because you've been stuck in one place, but give me a weird selfie moment.
I mean, like the weirdest place, maybe like a physio or something. Like when you're literally getting your ankle fixed and you look like the worst version of yourself possible, and they just like notice you as you're just getting a calf massage. It's kind of weird.
So they walked up to you as your leg. I'm trying to picture this. Your leg is propped up. You're in, I don't want to say pain, but and then, hey, Tate, can I have a selfie? Is that basically what happened?
Yeah, they're just like standing there, and I think it's just a weird place to ask for a picture.
God, I would think so. All right, new rule: when you're getting your ankle, taped up, and you're in agonizing pain, don't ask for a selfie. Tate McRae's here, you guys. Tate, huge congrats! I saw you post a video. Your plaque was in the background. I don't think it's in the room you're in right now, but
yeah, it is.
Oh, there it is. Oh my God, yeah. Your track One Day has gone gold, which is a big deal. I mean, talk about, your reaction to that.
I mean, it's kind of crazy just because that was the first song I ever wrote and released. So, to come around like a couple years later and, actually get a plaque in real life, I think everything's just been so virtual, and there's been some really cool things that have happened, but because it's all on text and on Instagram and on like virtually, something to get like a plaque like that is pretty cool. Like it feels like legit. It feels really cool.
Yeah, everything else seems, imaginary, like but hey, let me see the plaque once again. I'm kind of peeking behind her. Look at that. It's just a gold plaque. God, that's all right. Maybe I'm just a nerd, but that's just such a rush to have that, and with your name on it. Yeah. Tate, I know the answer to this question, but let me just throw it out there. How anxious are you to finally tour, to get back on the road? I know you've announced some UK dates, 2021, I believe, Ireland, I believe it is. You got to be ready to go.
I'm so excited because there's been so many like online concerts recently, and those are like fun. But then again, the energy in the room when you're on tour is crazy. And I just found out today that the tour sold out, so
Oh, wow.
that'll be crazy. It'll be really fun.
And these dates we're talking about, UK and Ireland dates, once again, late 2021. Have you guys made what's that going to look like? What do you think it's going to look like? Is it, are we assuming back to normal? I guess so, right? I hope.
So, I mean, honestly, fingers crossed. Otherwise, a concert would be pretty weird if there were like COVID precautions. Like standing 6 feet apart from people at a concert would be kind of weird.
Have you even thought about doing the drive-in concert, which we've had several of those, and it's just I find it, it's cool to do because it's better than nothing. But
Yeah.
it's also like, you usually hear the crowd scream, which I guess you still hear that, but you hear the honking of the horns too, which has got to be just kind of odd.
No, I think it's definitely the point of a concert is like being beside people who love the same music and like feeling the energy in the room and being able to sing to your fans or people that listen to your music, and that's the coolest part about it. So when people are like away from each other, I feel like it kind of wrecks the whole purpose of it.
It is kind of odd. Well, get fingers crossed for you and for all of us for 2021, that's for sure. Tate McRae is hanging out. Tate, a couple of true or false questions. You've never seen Harry Potter. That cannot be true.
I've never seen Harry Potter.
What, are you trying to avoid it to prove a point, or is it just it's just not on your radar, or you give a crap about it?
I've just never really like come across it. Like I just like never like it's. I don't. Is it on Netflix? I don't know. I've never checked. I've never. I wouldn't know.
Fair point. It's Netflix fault. Yeah, one of these days you got to check out. I think it's pretty good. Anyway, true or false? You are terrified of heights.
That's very true. I mean, except I'm not scared to go on planes. Like I actually love planes, but when I'm on like roller coasters and like Ferris wheels, terrifying. The worst thing ever.
Have you ever been like in a high rise and kind of peeked over the edge? Have you ever? I hate that.
I hate it. I seriously can't. And super tall buildings, if you look over the window, that's the worst.
It is. I'll give you that one for sure. Tate, let's do this track. You broke me first. What do people need to know? Tell me everything.
Well, I wrote this in January before COVID broke down and I got sent back home. So it was one of my last like in-person sessions. And honestly, I think it was just a really real experience for me, written about a lot of real emotions. And it was really cool for me because, I feel like it was one of those like underdog songs. Like you have a whole list of songs. You have like a million songs you write and people agree which ones are the best, like on your team. And I was like, from day one, I was like, in my gut, I was like, this one's my favorite. And I feel like this one's going to connect. And I was just really excited to release it. And then obviously I had to film the music video in quarantine, which was so weird.
What's it like shooting a video in quarantine? Because on a video set, there's typically, quite a few people on set. And I'm guessing it's, when you're in quarantine, you got your mom holding the light and your friend holding the camera. It's kind of how it works, to my understanding. What's it like shooting a video in quarantine?
Well, this one was weird because I had to shoot this video as soon as quarantine happened. So no one had really figured out anything yet, like how to shoot videos. So I basically they were like, take your phone and just shoot something. So I literally went to the middle of nowhere, had my friend driving backwards in my mom's car, taped my phone to the front of my mom's car, and was just like, okay, let's went on Video Star that I used when I was like 6. And literally just shot twice, 2 videos, and then sent it in and said, this is what we got.
You're kidding me. All right. Tate McRae is here. Tate, 2-part question. Biggest crowd you've ever performed for, and the complete flip of that. Have you ever been booed?
Oh, well, I was on So You Think You Can Dance when I was 12. So
They don't boo on that show, though, do they?
No, I don't think so.
But they can give you bad scores and all that,
Yeah, I think that was because it was televised, there were like a couple million people, which was like dancing. So that's not singing, but
right.
That was a big crowd. And then I hope I haven't been booed. Otherwise I have not paid attention to it.
That's not a bad thing. All right. Tate, it's a big deal with any artist when you sign a record deal. And I love hearing those stories of, and in as much detail as you can give me. You signed with RCA, I think it was 2019, last year, back when things were normal. And who was in the room? Was it did you actually have a pen and paper when you signed it, or was it digital? What tell me about that moment, because it's a big deal.
Well, so we just like gotten to New York and we were meeting with like I think 11 labels at the time, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
But we walked into this one office and you know, my A&R's name's Jake. He's like this really funny guy. And I definitely base all my experiences off of vibes, like what I get as soon as I walk into the room. And he was just all over the place. Like my favorite, like I love him because he was just talking so fast, just a million things, like just blurting out like everything he loved about music. And I looked at my mom and dad and I was like, this is the one. I just remember that so clearly.
And they sat like an actual piece of a contract in front of you, and you grabbed a pen and said Tate McRae, and then that
Oh,
was the whole
no.
kind of, you know.
We definitely waited like 6 months before we signed
Was it
it.
angels weren't singing in the back? Nothing like. All right. Tate McRae is hanging out, guys. Tate, I think you know by now, I am obsessed with the paranormal.
Mhm.
Since I was a kid, ghost, UFOs, all that stuff. I think the reason it started, my mom took me and my sister on picnics to graveyards. Weird.
Oh,
Not sure why
good.
she did that. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, I'm obsessed, and I'm told you have a bit of a paranormal encounter, or maybe I don't know exactly how to describe it, but what happened?
Okay, I don't know if I've told you this story already before, but when I was younger, I was like 2. My mom was on this trip, and we were about to go fly back to my dad. Like they traveled all over the place, and it was me and my brother. It had been like a long trip. We were delayed, everything. We were both bawling. My mom was stressed. We get on the flight. We were still crying. My mom was like, "What do I do? Whatever, just like put him to sleep." So we start taking off, and suddenly my brother falls asleep, and I just like completely stopped crying, and I looked out the window, and I was started talking. My mom was like, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, "Oh, the man on the wing." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's wearing like this blue suit and this blue cap." And you know, my mom's mom had died of cancer like right before I was born. She actually named me, and before she died, she would wear like a blue suit and a blue cap every single day before she, you know, passed away. And so I was like, and she was bald because she didn't have any hair. So I was like, the man on the wing, he's wearing a blue cap. And my mom was like, so like, what's he saying to you? And I said, well, I said, I love you. And he said, I love you more. And that was the one thing that my mom would like always say to each other, no matter what. My mom was like, what? This is the freakiest thing ever.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's intense.
it
You
wasn't.
know.
No, yeah, I used to like when I was younger, like I definitely talked to a lot of weird people. My mom said like I'd always like stand on the balcony of my room and just be like talking to people. And I'd be like, "Don't you see her?" Like I was so convinced that I was talking to people, and I think it was just because I just had a really crazy imagination and I could was super open minded about things. And apparently it's like kids can because they like have no filter or no anything closing them off from seeing anything. Like I was just one of those kids.
That's pretty cool in my opinion. Although, do things like that still happen, or has that been kind of shut off?
I mean, I'm like the problem is I'm a terrible sleepwalker and sleep talker. So
Oh God.
like the horrible thing is like as soon as I get into a hotel, it's like I go psychotic. I'm just always sleep talking, always like, there's a man in the corner. My mom's like, stop, you are freaking me out.
Man,
It doesn't stop.
note to self: traveling with Tate is crazy. All right, Tate McRae is hanging out, you guys. Tate, you've met a lot of people, worked with a lot of people. Have you ever been starstruck?
um, yes. I was pretty starstruck when I was pretty starstruck when I met Billy at her show.
Oh wow, yeah.
Um, that was pretty cool. And then when I met Justin Bieber when I was like 12, I
Because you
was like,
performed with them on the Purpose tour, right?
yeah. So I did like that performance where we just like went on stage with him and I met him and he was like, you have a sick name. And I was like, oh my God, just best day of my life.
True or false question, Tate. You always wear the same necklace from your mom when you're doing performances and interviews and all this videos. Is that I see you have a necklace on. Is that it?
Yeah, I usually wear this most of the time. It's my mom's necklace. So
Is that that's
yeah,
the one that you saw on the plane, right?
it's that mom. Yeah.
Oh wow! So every video, pretty much every video, anything we see you in, you're probably going to have that necklace on.
Yeah.
By the way, what's family's reaction? You know, everybody, to what's going on. You've blown up. Granted, you got still a lot of growth to go, but things are going pretty well for you. What's the family reaction to all your success?
I mean, it really depends. Like, my uncle, we have like a small little group that like lives around us, and I mean my grandpa's German, so he's always like, "Ugh, I don't understand." It's okay, you don't need to. Like, we just have a lot of different personalities in our family, but they've been really supportive and great, and it's been cool.
What has 2020 taught you?
Oh gosh.
That's a loaded one, I know.
I think 2020 has, honestly, I think it's just taught me a lot about myself. I think because you've had a lot of moments away from people and away from, the rest of the world, being at home, you kind of just realize things about yourself. And I think it's like patience is key, number one. I think with social media, you can really get ahead of yourself a lot of the time, and, always feel like you need to be doing something and you need to be writing. And I have that personality where I always need to be working, but you got to be patient because things are going to happen for a reason at the right time. And you got to trust your gut on things.
Quick recap. You broke me first. It is out. You guys obviously need to get on this track or you're a bad person. EP, we got an EP coming out soon, what else am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? What do people need to know?
Well, I have a lot of performances coming up, which I'm really stoked for, as well as lots of new music, been writing a lot, and then tour to look forward to. But honestly, at this point, I have no idea with COVID, but we'll see.
All right, Tate McRae, thank you for hanging out. At the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official, tap that cam. Boom!
Boom! Did it!